Welcome back to the Keiser Report. I'm Max Keiser. Time now to go to Michelle Renee. She is the founder and CEO of Informative Services. She is the creator of the largest blockchain-inspired global wealth summit for people of color in the Chicagoland area. Michelle, welcome to the Keiser Report.
Thank you for having me, Max. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, looking forward to this conversation. Now, in 2018, you founded Informative Services. Your motto is economic parity through education. So elaborate on this. Tell us about your mission.
Good information leads to good education. And I saw a deficiency in that. With anything, we make decisions. So to have a big impact, we must have good information to have all options available to us, good options. And as you may know, we're living in uncertain times. So my mission is to level the playing field through good information that leads to good education, which impacts us economically and socially.
Some would argue that the system is rigged and that people of color, even with great information and great education, are facing a bit of a rigged system. And part of that rigged system has to do with the way money is created and distributed, because you also get into this very idea. You say, to succeed, we must not only learn the monetary system, but also unlearn archaic and dangerous methodologies. So tell us about some of the archaic and dangerous methodologies and how we see them.
Well, as you may know, the 2008 financial crisis, that was a learning lesson, I feel, in many areas. We checked all the boxes. We were productive members of society. We invested in our 401ks. We did all of these things to be that. And guess what? Most of us was on the short end of the stick. Wealth transferred to another entity, and it just evaporated. And we're still trying to pick up the pieces with that. So even just on that level, just having information and doing the status quo have hurt us tremendously.
So just to review, in 2008, I know, but down in New Orleans in particular, also during the hurricane disaster when there was flooding, people of color in that area who were really victimized by banks who fraudulently made loans to them or refinancing on their homes to them. And then when it was discovered that the banks had made these fraudulent loans, the government bailed out the banks, right? So this is the first time in history that instead of bailing out the debtors who are the victimized by the swarmy lenders, they bailed out the lenders. So once again, as you point out, there was a huge wealth transfer. Black community, huge wealth was moved out of that community. Another really reprehensible chapter in the bankers in this country who are seem to there's no law they don't want to break. But what's the reaction that you get? I mean, is education and information, is that going to be the equalizer?
Yes, I definitely believe it will be the equalizer. Why? A lot of good information is centralized and it doesn't trickle down. And if it does trickle down, we, the people, normally don't reap the benefit as if those who were in the know. So good information is key. And like I said before, in 2008, those who knew got out, or those who knew how to transfer their wealth so they can have more wealth. And with anything, we have many problems going on, many situations that have came to the light. But the thing is, in order to cut or have the impact that I believe that we need, yes, we do need to make people uncomfortable, but yes, you have to attack the money supply. And that's when you really see people come into a oneness or basically say, okay, well, maybe there is an issue. Maybe we do need to change some things. So a lot of things collectively need to be handled and need to occur. But learning a monetary system, getting that good information that's centralized that we need in order to make good decisions. We need to have good options, not just any option thrown at us.
You tweeted the hashtag Black Dollars Matter. So elaborate on this a little bit.
Well, we are one of the number one consumers. So therefore, if things need to change and we need to nudge some things, of course, money, dollars are power, period, point blank. And even in a lot of my readings and things of that nature, even the history of the Federal Reserve and all of those things, and even down to some of our historic presidents, they believed and felt that a lot of the power remains with those who manage the money supply. So that's the ultimate goal. That should be the ultimate goal. Well, one of the ultimate goals.
So I'm just thinking, part of the history of this, there was a Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This was pretty much dismantled. Wilmington in North Carolina had a huge, really black commerce area, which led to a coup, the only coup in American history. Now the whole possibility of black commerce was destroyed, right? So,
yes.
This is a tough go. Now, I don't know if you've read Isaiah Jackson's book, Bitcoin and Black America, or you've heard about this book, but it is offering something new on the horizon. Michelle, what are your thoughts here?
Oh, yes, definitely. It's offering something new. That's why I had Isaiah Jackson speak at my Global Wealth Summit. So I definitely had him there because with anything, Max, let's be honest, when a person has a conversation with another individual, normally we're looking for commonality. We're looking for something that we can be familiar with. And even with people of color, such as myself, sometimes we need information that's coming from us and by us. And also having authentic or real agendas that's going to make a positive impact. And Isaiah Jackson definitely has done that in Bitcoin and Black America, and providing that information, in which I do supply his book with my VIP members, so they can have something tangible that they can read, that they can identify with. So definitely, yes.
Well, I mean, it's a remarkable chapter here in the history of money, history of American politics, history of American monetary policy, and the history of American race relations. Now, I've been watching civil rights movement for, just about 60 years of my life, and it's disheartening to lots of people, myself included, that there is always that point when the justice is not served and equality never arrives. When you have a point like Bitcoin, which is unconfiscatable, I mean, this would seem to be a very big selling point to the Black community after having so much wealth stolen, systematically by the system for a long, long, long time. With Bitcoin being unconfiscatable, wouldn't that be a major selling point, if you get what I mean?
Definitely will be a major selling point because you have the power in your hands. And I'm going back to good information, at least to good education. Bitcoin can be amazing. But the thing is, even in our old traditional system, most of us just know how to use fiat currency to just exchange it for a good and service, not to really get on the other side of wealth. With Bitcoin, it definitely it's a wealth tool, but we need to go a little bit further to understand how Bitcoin works in the monetary system and how we can use Bitcoin to not just, make it easy and convenient, but to hold on to our wealth and grow it all at the same time. And lastly, protect it. Like in Tulsa, things occurred. Our wealth must be protected. We just can't just live in our homes and leave the doors wide open and the windows up and then hope no one comes in. We have to understand what this is, understand what Bitcoin is, this blockchain technology is, how we can use it to our advantage and manipulate it legally so we can be on the other side of wealth and maintain our wealth and grow it all at the same time and protect it.
Right. Well, as you write about, Black Dollars Matter. Black
Yes.
economy is a huge part of the American economy. If the Black economy were to secede, essentially, from the American economy and go full Bitcoin, I mean, this would be a tremendous and dynamic shift in the politics. And it wouldn't be a political issue anymore. It would be panic over there at the central bank in Washington, D.C., because you've got, a challenge to their paper slavery.
Yes, there is a challenge. Yes, yes. And the thing is, understanding how the monetary system works, getting good information that leads to good education, teaching our children, because our school system is deficient in that. And people still saying, well, how do we help? How do we help people in poverty? A lot of money have been thrown into communities that I grew up in, underserved communities. And it seemed as though the impact hasn't been there. It's because, in reference to my experience, we need the good information to keep going on and proceeding to have good wealth and good knowledge. So we can throw money at this thing in reference to underserved communities, but it all goes back to good information. If you have good information, and what we have also done is we're developing a curriculum so it can be implemented into our high schools and colleges, because again, Max, you know that this good information in reference to the monetary system, how it works, it's not being implemented in our school systems. And I believe it's strategically done for a reason, to keep us at a certain level so we can depend on that system. And Bitcoin gives us back that freedom if used the correct way, and understanding that in order for Bitcoin to be in your possession, you need to have your mnemonic phrases, you need to have your seed phrases. And as you may know, banks are getting into these institutions. And so do we want them custodying our Bitcoins, or not saying not to custody them, but understanding there are options? That's one option, but we also have another option where we can hold on to our Bitcoin.
Right, exactly. And so anyway, we're out of time. So I got to say goodbye. But Michelle, Renee, thanks so much for being on the Keiser Report.
I appreciate you, and I hope to see you again, Mr. Keiser.
Oh, absolutely. Have me on one of your shows. Happy to drop by, talk Bitcoin.
All right.
And that's going to do it for this edition of the Keiser Report with me, Max Keiser, and Stacey Herbert. I want to thank our guest, Michelle Renee, over there at Informative Services. If you want to catch us on Twitter, it's Keiser Report. Until next time, bye, y'all.